Okay, it is 1:30, and it's Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. And this is our virtual public meeting and agenda. Do we have a quorum? We have a quorum.
Rapson's here.
Okay. Okay. Public comment.
Worston's here.
Okay, excellent. Okay. Apparently we have a quorum. We start with public comment. If anybody wishes to make public comment.
We have a comment from David Bulwig, and it says, "How can we hear or watch the meeting without the normal video link?"
Okay. Do we have any other comments? Okay, I don't hear any, so we will go to the consent agenda. I would like to add an item before we do the consent agenda, which is a proclamation that will recognize the Virgin Valley High School graduating class of 2020. Okay, so I would need a second, a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, excellent. Okay, and we do have a second. Call for the vote, please.
Rapson, aye.
I can't log on to
Graymaker, aye.
I.
Councilmember Galt?
He's got his mute on.
Okay, so do we have,
Well,
we have three,
We had four.
four. So that motion passes, thank you, and that is added on for the next meeting. Okay, on the consent agenda today, item 2.1 will be consideration for approval of the Tuesday, March 24th, 2020 regular city council meeting agenda, the February 25th regular city council meeting minutes, the March 3rd, 2020 technical review meeting minutes, and the March 10th, 2020 regular city council meeting minutes. Any comments or questions from council? Okay. Any public comments? Okay. Item number 2.2 will be consideration of approval of notification of budget transfers, notification of budget amendments, notifications of bills paid and purchase orders. Any comment? Okay, item 2.3 will be consideration of a approval of a beer, wine, and spirits off-sale liquor license to U.S. Gas 7 to be located at 798 West Mesquite Boulevard. Okay, any comments from the council on that item? Any comments from the audience? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the next item, which is COVID-19 and state of emergency items. Item 3.1, consideration for approval of resolution 1017, approving and ratifying actions authorized by the city manager regarding City of Mesquite Emergency Directive 2020.01, business license fees, sanitation fees, business license status, and temporary liquor permits. Any comments from the public? Or council first, please. Any from the public? Go ahead.
I don't have the backup material for this. I'm sorry, my iPad's not working. Can you tell me what are we changing or what on the 3.1?
Mr. Mayor, this is Aaron.
Go ahead, Aaron.
This is resolution 1017, and it ratifies actions taken regarding the emergency directive 20-01, business licensing fees, sanitation fees, business license status, and temporary liquor permits. So this just goes back and looks at actions that have already been taken, and just ratifies them in resolution form.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
There's nothing new in it.
Okay. Any comment from the public on this item? Okay. Number 3.2 is review of the declaration of emergency. And this item is for review only. No action may be taken unless in compliance with the requirements of Mesquite City Charter 2-103. Okay. Okay. Mr. Sweeten, any comments on that?
No comments.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Any questions from council? Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if this is an appropriate time to ask this question or even if I can, but do we have any end in sight on the state of emergency, or what are our thoughts there?
Mr. Sweeten, you want to answer that, if you could?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We do know that the governor's holding a press conference later this afternoon. Despite we don't know the exact matter of that press conference, we do believe that that he will roll out some sort of reopening plan. I think that's the hope of most here in town. So that's, I think based on slightly more than speculation at this point, but it could not be related to that. But we think we'll know more this afternoon. If we don't know more this afternoon, then I think staff's going to continue to be engaged in figuring out what the governor's office is looking to do on ending this.
Okay, any other comment? Okay, comments from the public, please.
None.
None, okay. Item 3.3 will be a report regarding city actions related to COVID-19 and other matters properly related thereto. Okay, and I believe that is Chief Andrus. Chief?
Yes, Mayor, Council. On March 15th, Mayor Lippman declared a state of emergency. Since that time, city staff and each department have made significant changes for the safety and welfare of our employees and citizens. During this agenda item, we'll be discussing the operational changes that have taken place. And I'd just like to give a shout out to each department in the city. I can tell you there have been no singular heroes in this response. Each city department, each department head, and members from city administration have spent a significant time and resources on this response to our city. During next week's council meeting, I would like to update each one of you, as well as the members of the public, on this response as related to COVID-19 from the Emergency Operations Center. We'll be going over some of our gaps, what's gone right, what's gone wrong, and filling you in on those components. I believe you've already received many of these updates. Is there any other information you as mayor, council would like to see in this report?
No, I'm good with it. Council? Okay, don't hear any. General public. Oh, go ahead, Councilman.
Hold on a second, if you don't mind. I just gotta. No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and anything from the general public?
None.
None, okay. Item 3.4 will be a presentation, discussion, and potential direction to staff regarding the strategic plan, the core services, and the budget for fiscal year 2021 and other matters related thereto, and that will be Mr. Baker leading that. Any questions of Mr.
Yep.
Baker?
Yes,
Go ahead, please.
Brepson. With respect to the enumerated items, like the hiring freeze, part-time employee hours, mandatory expenses, are we going to get more detail than this summary, or are we going to, like what has happened so far and what is the result of, number one, reduced mandatory expenses, which, like what? Eliminating overtime, how much does that save us? Hiring freeze, that's self-explanatory. Limit part-time employees' hours, specifically how many more do we have on board and how many have we let go or furloughed?
Sure.
Yeah, the leave, all of these things, some specifications or specificity, I think.
Councilman Rapson, excuse me, absolutely, we'll have those specifics for you. Department heads are finishing up the projections right now for revenue and expenditures for this year. They're due today by the close of business, the finance. And also we're looking at projected revenues for next year. So it's a little bit of a moving target for us, but by next Tuesday, I feel confident that we can have some specific numbers put together for you on these of what these are going to quantify out to be both for this fiscal year and moving into next.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other comments from council? Any comments from the general public?
None.
Okay. Item 4.1 would be mayor's comments and reports. I will have something to say at the council meeting. Councilwoman Greenmaker, did you have a question?
Well, I just, at that time, will it be on that last item, will we be giving recommendations at that time as to what we might suggest of other things that for cutting or cutbacks or anything? When will you be wanting our suggestions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
if I
go ahead.
may answer for Councilwoman Rainmaker, what we're looking for, staff is looking to you for is priorities. As enumerated on that sheet, there are about 6 priorities, and those are sample priorities. If you have other priorities that you would like to list or include or have us include in the budget, we want to make sure that we do that as well. So that is the chance. It's not necessarily the opportunity to say specific because we're still going to have budget hearings in May. But if you want to provide those overarching goals and priorities to us at that point, this meeting is the time because of just the world has changed so much. We would like to hear how important is it to you have a balanced budget? How much important is it for you to maintain lines of service or employment opportunities for folks? What are those? And then as we get to those May hearings, we'll be able to see those specifics. But right now, as we try to put together a budget, we need to know those overarching goals because the size of what we're dealing with here is significant. These aren't tweaks, these are major changes, and so we need to understand that.
Thank you.
Okay. No, we've already finished that part of it. Okay.
Council comments. I'd just like to make one now, if I may. Rapson here again.
Go ahead.
There was a question at the beginning of the meeting by Mr. Ballwig. Would some staff reach out to Mr. Ballwig and help him understand what the answer to that question was?
Councilman Rapson, this is Aaron Baker. I will have our city clerk get with him to make sure that he knows how to log into meetings to stream them live. So that's available. And we'll put out a press release to the general public so that everyone knows how to do that. Because I'm sure he's not the only one with the question.
No, I'm quite certain that's probably true. Thank you.
Okay, we're down to final public comment. Do we have public comment?
There are no public comments on
No
this
public
item.
comment? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.